I'm not. There's a direct input, like a direct box, that it hasn't worked with our sound system.
Oh, really?
So I've got a pickup in here, but it doesn't work with the system yet.
Weird.
Yeah. So today.
They make cheaper guitars, like this one is $200. Yeah, it looks Let's be first. Katie, which one are we doing first?
Yes, we did by 3 points.
Didn't even need me. You guys didn't even need me.
No.
I'm still part of the team though, right?
Yeah, totally.
And the Hey Date Club.
That was impressive. Are you kicking us off or what? Hello? Is this on? We got everybody? Not ninth grade. You got like 8 kids? Do we have like 8 kids from 7th grade? Oh, they're all back there. All right. No, you can't lead. I'm leading. This is about me tonight. I'm trying to go. All right. Do we have a clicker? Oh. Hit another one. Who's got it? You got it? Perfect. All right. So tonight things are a little bit different if you haven't picked up on that yet. Kirsten and Pastor Tim are with the 9th graders to start with. We had some game time. Yeah, I'm great. I'm doing this, but I recruited people to pray for me, so I won't be part of that. You guys are all on that. All right, so we're going to have our large group time, and then the last half hour, 45 minutes, we're going back to small group. So I'm not going to say that. All right, next slide. Singing, Katie.
All right,
everybody
everyone.
Up.
Stand up and let's sing.
Absolutely not.
next one, so make sure you do them. Sing nice and loud.
You want to come? No, come on. Come on. Come on. It's actually so I can teach you the action.
Well, this is the gospel, mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 this is the gospel, mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 this is the gospel, mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine all the time. I laid down a revolution. I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 I live a revolution. I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, 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 I live a revolution. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine all the time. Won't let Satan poop it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, hey, won't let Satan poop it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, won't let Satan poop it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine all the time. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, all around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, all around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine all the time. This is the gospel, mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, this is the gospel, mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, this is the gospel, mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine all the time. Let it shine, let it shine all the time. Let it shine. Let it shine all the time. Okay, take a seat.
All right.
Thank you. That was fun. That was a joy.
I do have faith questions. Yes. I'm going to call on you. Hey. All right. So, quiet, please, and listen, 8th grade girls. All right. So, faith questions tonight are going to be a little different. Don't worry. I'm not going to be responding to them. But the first faith question is a video from Pastor Tim. Do we have the question or just the video?
You don't get to answer it.
Oh, pay attention to Pastor Tim.
Fine. Okay. I mean, what do you think I do on Tuesdays when you guys aren't around? I'm really good at Pac-Man now. Okay, just kidding. But I did think, since I couldn't be there tonight, I should answer the question from here so that you could listen to it. The question today is, how do people keep loving when they've lost faith? Now, I want to say a big part of our faith is love, and specifically loving like Jesus. But what's interesting is love is not given only to Christians. You don't have to believe in Jesus Christ to have love. Love was a gift that God gives to all of the world. And not only is it a gift to all the world, God loves all the world. Because when Jesus came to die, he died for all people, right? For everyone. So, everyone loves something. Some are better than others. I have a friend who is not a believer. And by the way, he loves his kids a lot. He also loves his dogs, and he loves his car. All good things. I've also known him for probably more than 20 years now. And so I love the guy and he loves me. So if you can love other people without faith, how is our Christian sense of love different? Well, it's great because the Bible talks about this in multiple places. And in one of them, Jesus says, don't just love. I'm sorry, this is Paul, not Jesus. Let me be appropriate. Don't just love those who love you, like the Gentiles. Right? Don't just love when you think you're going to love back. You are called to a greater love. You are supposed to love even your enemies. You are supposed to pray for those who persecute you. Because Jesus loved even the unlovable. So as a Christian, you are supposed to love like Jesus and like Jesus loved you. And as Christians, we believe that love is not just a feeling, not just this heartfelt thing that we go, oh, I love you. It's actually actions. It is acting in loving ways, meaning being nice to them, even when they don't deserve it. It means reaching out and helping them, even when you are ticked off at them. And it means sometimes doing what's best for someone else rather than what's best for you. Not because you have to, but because Jesus did that first for you. And so when we say, they'll know you are Christians by your love, it's not because the only one who loves anyone is faithful Christians. It is, well, because we are called to act out our love even in times when people don't deserve it, and even in ways they do not deserve. Here's the thing I'll tell you. We Christians are not always great at this. And some Christians are really, really bad. My friend I mentioned earlier, he is better at this than some of the Christians I know. Now that doesn't mean that you need to have Christ to love. What it does mean is because you know Christ, you should love with your actions on a deep level, and you're called to that again and again. But don't assume that we have the monopoly on love, because God loves them and gave them a gift of love too, even if they do not have any faith. And so even if you lose or doubt your faith, God will still love you, and you'll still have access to loving other people. I hope that makes sense, especially on this Valentine's Day, post-Valentine's Day.
Anybody got the prayer cards? Or maybe who has prayer cards, and then we will hand those out.
pass them. We can pass them back and forth. We passed the bat last time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Knock, knock.
Yes, it's on. Yep. Yep.
You guys want the easy ones to read?
Why are they the easy ones?
Right, I'm just...
Oh, she's got more.
Yeah. But when we get going,
Okay. You're good right now.
and then
Next time.
read 4 or 5, somewhere in there.
Yeah, usually we just have them all up here already so we know how many we got through.
And then
Yep. Thank you, thank you. All right, ladies, get serious now. Okay. Is that everybody's then now?
I don't know.
Everybody's is up? Yep. Okay. All right, take a moment. Everybody can center yourselves, bow your heads, clear your minds. We'll start out. We'll say a few of these, and then, as you guys all know, then we'll say, Lord, in your mercy, and you guys respond with, hear our prayer. We'll start with a prayer. Lord, thank you for bringing us here together tonight. Thank you for this fellowship and time together. We ask that you keep everybody safe throughout the rest of our week and help all who are here tonight and those who aren't in whatever they may need. I pray for everyone struggling with a mental health problem. I pray that all of my upcoming tests go well. I pray for my family and that anyone who is struggling may be helped. I pray for anyone mentally suffering. I pray that everyone finds a reason to smile today. Lord, in your mercy.
I pray that everyone has a good week. I pray that I can get better at piano. I pray my friends join the church and know and grow close to God. I pray for a great tournament this weekend. Lord, in your mercy.
I pray for a good grade in science. I pray that the teacher explains things so I understand them and that he teaches better. I pray to keep good grades. I pray for all districts to make it to regions. I pray for my best friend and that he is okay. I pray we grow in faith together. I pray that things work out between my friend and I. Lord, in your mercy.
Hear our prayer.
Dear God, I pray for everyone affected by cancer and any other illness, and that you can strengthen and heal them. I also pray for their families. Dear God, I thank you for opportunities to do things we enjoy, and I pray that everyone knows Jesus loves them so much. I pray for people who can't afford things and that they can get what they need. Dear God, I pray for good grades and for my friends and family to be happy. I pray for everyone's mental health to get better. Lord, in your mercy.
Hear our prayer. I pray that I do good on my tests and in my tournament. I pray that I do good on my tests and upcoming tournament. I pray that everyone can find the Lord and turn to him during hard times. I pray that everyone in spring sports can have an injury-free season. I pray for all of my friends and that they are okay. Lord, in your mercy.
I pray for someone that I will never leave them out, and I trust them so much. I love them so much. I pray for my grades to go up. I pray God forgives me for all of my sins. I pray my dad gets better. Lord, in your mercy.
Hear our prayer.
Dear God, be with me and help me not to fail my science test. I pray that my grandma had a great 82nd birthday. I pray you are protecting her in heaven. I pray I do good on my math test. I pray for my family and friends and that they feel loved and wanted. Lord, in your mercy.
Hear our prayer.
I pray I did good on my science test. I pray that my science test can come back good and for my health to stay good. I pray for people who are going through a conflict. I pray I do good on my upcoming tests and for people to be healthy. Lord, in your mercy.
Hear our prayer. Dear God, I pray that my grandpa recovers from his stroke and that my grandma from her knee surgery, and I do well in my tests. I pray that anyone who is struggling with something finds peace. I pray for my family and friends and good grades, and I pray for God to fill my heart with peace. Lord, in your mercy.
I pray for all of those who may be struggling with their mental or physical health. I pray for my finals to go good and my concussion to heal fast. Lord, I pray for all of those who are struggling in their faith and that God can help them to strengthen their faith. I pray for a good rest of the week and all those struggling in any way. Lord, I pray that my state tournament goes well and my grades go up, my preparation for finals help, and my friends are okay. And I pray for my dad's cancer recovery and for my friend's mom. Lord, in your mercy.
God, we ask you to take all these prayers into consideration and all of those that are not spoken out loud. Help those who are in need of anything at this time and to watch over us as we continue our learning and fellowship in you. And all God's children said,
All right, so tonight's topic is, who is Jesus? We will be talking about the life and teachings of Jesus. We're going to watch 2 short Bible Project videos quietly and without comment from the 8th graders. No, you can't comment. And then we will discuss these in the small group. So listen closely and try to remember 1 to 2 things that you learned.
Jesus of Nazareth, or Yeshua in his own Aramaic language, was a Jewish man who lived 2,000 years ago on the eastern end of the Mediterranean Sea. The earliest accounts of his life, called the 4 Gospels, come from the eyewitness testimony of his followers. Jesus grew up on the scriptures of his people Israel that say God chose Abraham to bring his blessing to the nations. Jesus said the story was being fulfilled in him and that he was the one bringing God's reign to our world. He called this the good news of the kingdom of God. Jesus announced God's kingdom to the poor and the sick, and he accused Israel's leaders of being corrupt. He challenged them in Jerusalem, fully knowing that this would get him killed. But his plan was to be enthroned as king by dying for the sins of his people. Later, the followers of Jesus visited his burial place, but it was empty. Then Jesus appeared alive to many, saying that he was the king of the world, opening a new future for humanity. Then he sent his followers to spread the good news of his reign around the world. If you've ever heard of Jesus of Nazareth, you probably know he was a famous teacher, and his most well-known words have shaped the lives of billions of people throughout history.
Love your neighbor as yourself. Do to others what you would have them do to you.
Now, those sayings come from a collection of Jesus' teaching that's sometimes called the Sermon on the Mount. It's only 3 chapters long, but its ideas and images have endured throughout time.
You are the salt of the earth. You can't serve both God and money. Take the plank out of your eye before you take the speck out of another's.
In the sermon are some really challenging teachings.
If anyone strikes you on the cheek, turn and offer him the other cheek. Love your enemy and bless those who persecute you.
And there are also some really puzzling teachings.
If your hand causes you to sin, cut it off?
But the Sermon on the Mount is not a random collection of Jesus' teachings. They've been organized in a beautiful way so that it's easier to remember and meditate on. There are 3 main parts of the sermon, the middle of which has 3 parts, and then each of those middle parts themselves have 3 parts.
Wow, the sermon has been carefully designed.
Yes, and right at the center of the center is the famous prayer that Jesus taught his followers.
Our Father in heaven, may your name be treated as holy. May your kingdom come. May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Well, what does that mean for God's kingdom to come on earth?
Well, we have to remember that Jesus was Jewish, and he grew up meditating on the Hebrew Bible, the sacred scriptures of Israel, and they told the story of God and all humanity.
How God created a well-ordered world and appointed humans to rule it on his behalf.
And when humans rule with God's wisdom and love, and when justice and peace prevail, and there's enough for everyone, that is God's kingdom and God's will being done here on earth as it is in heaven.
And that's no easy task. Humans foolishly rebel and start building their own kingdoms by their own wisdom.
And so God chose one family, the Israelites, and he offered them his wisdom. It was called the Torah, which in Hebrew means the teaching. And beginning with Moses on Mount Sinai, God entered into a sacred covenant with them.
Why only select one family?
Well, the goal was for the Israelites to be transformed by God's wisdom so that they could represent God's kingdom before all the nations.
But in Jesus' day, God's kingdom was nowhere to be seen. In fact, Israel was under the thumb of Roman oppressors. So what happened? Why isn't God's kingdom coming?
Well, many religious leaders, like the scribes and the Pharisees, they thought it wasn't coming because Israel wasn't being faithful enough to the Torah. Other leaders, called the Sadducees, thought it would be best if Israel found a way to cooperate with Rome, and so they became the power brokers of Jesus' day.
Some ran for the hills to become freedom fighters against Rome.
They're known as the Zealots.
And still others withdrew to the desert, waiting for God to use them to start a new Israel.
But walk around the hill country of Israel, like Jesus did, and you'll mostly find normal people figuring out their lives as best they can. Most were barely hanging on, lots of poor and sick people. Many had lost their land to the Roman occupiers and were struggling to pay the heavy taxes.
They were powerless and hopeless.
And so Jesus went to these people, healing the sick and announcing that God's kingdom was arriving. People gathered from all over to hear his teachings, and one day, Jesus went up to a tall hill and said the arrival of God's kingdom was starting here and now with them.
You mean with the powerless, the weak, the nobodies? God's kingdom begins here?
Yes, this is why the very first line of the Sermon on the Mount is, "Blessed are the poor in spirit." In other words, where can you go and see God's presence and blessing springing to life? Among the rich? Among the powerful? No, Jesus says. Look where people are poor, where they feel crushed and defeated. God's kingdom is beginning with the people standing right here.
Best one. Oh, yeah. How are the videos? Good? Good. I'm glad you learned something. We debated between some videos, but we thought those were good. So you're talking about Jesus tonight. But a couple announcements. So next Wednesday we have our youth-led worship, and I'm going to go over that schedule on the next slide. Hopefully that made it on. Hopefully I didn't do that too late for you, Katie. But is it on there? No? Okay, so hold on. Before we get to the Penny Wars. So next Wednesday, here's what's going to happen. At 6:15, you are going to come here and do games like normal. From 6:15 to 6:45, we'll be in Fellowship Hall. Your parents are invited to come during that time. And in the living room, Pastor Tim is going to lead an adult fellowship discussion thing. So they will also get 30 minutes to connect. They can also just drop you off if they want, go get some groceries and come back at 6:45. But worship begins at 6:45 to 7:30. So that 45-minute time that, like, we're typically in large group and stuff for most of it is when we're going to have worship, okay? So it will be, and this is really the trial, sort of an experiment for what a midweek service is going to be like. So we'll gather in here. It'll be like similar to a Sunday, but a little bit more relaxed, kind of more camp-style worship, right? But we are going to be in here with a bunch of other people. You are allowed to sit with friends as long as you are being respectful and listening and, that sort of thing. But adults, guides, other parents, I recommend that you scatter throughout. But we will let you, sit a row of students. You know what I mean? You don't have to sit with your mom and dad. If you want to sit near, that's great. Okay, so question, and then after, so 7:30 worship ends, you will get 30 minutes of small group time, and during that time, if your parents are not a guide and they're here at worship, they can either stay and have some fellowship or leave and come back and get you at 8. Okay, question, yeah. Absolutely. So you can grab a worship note like normal, one of the blue ones, and put some stuff down on there. It'll be just a regular worship service that you can do a worship note for. Great question. Yep, absolutely. That's always all right. So if you don't complete the entire thing, it's not like you have to have the whole thing filled out to get credit. Yeah? Questions about next Wednesday? Okay. Penny Wars. Avery, Emery, you ready? So they counted everything. Well, we worked together on it. We were spread out all over in the floor, counting all the pennies and all the silver coins and everything.
Yes. So 9th grade has 6,668 points. A little behind, but that's okay. And then 8th grade is in the lead with 18,642 points. Pretty good. And then 7th grade still has a chance with 13,854. If they really donated. So, yes.
So we just got the question, how much is $100? How many points is $100? So if you give a $20 bill, just think of the money as 20.00, right? Take out that decimal point, it's 2,000 points. So $100 would be 10,000 points, okay? So, and then the pennies take off. So tonight's the last night for that, and we will count it up, I don't know, in the next couple of days, and we will have, on Sunday actually, we are planning to do it in worship, share the total and that sort of thing. But we've raised over $422. So the thought is that the Gaga pit would cost about $350, so that's really nice. We'll at least build that and then have some extra money for picnic tables that they can build. And they leave on March 1st, so that's really exciting. So great job. Give yourselves a hand. Okay, so questions about tonight. You have the rest of the time for small group. Let me tell you a couple things. You've got a pink sheet in there for discussion. You also have a stack of papers that are paper. Hold up. Sit down, Katrina. Karina, sorry. You have